Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. It's coffee time! Do you have your coffee? Hold on. Nice and warm. It's a little chilly this morning here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Somebody said, "Why did you move there?" And I said, I don't know. It just felt right. I'd never actually been here. And right, you see, this is the going with things that you know are just feeling right. And I actually sold my house, packed up a truck with a friend of mine, and she and I drove the truck down here, because if I let a moving company do it, it could be a couple of weeks before they showed up. Drove it down, had a blast, and I knew I was in heaven. I remember waking up and thinking, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. So you won't know till you step out into that uncomfort zone. So I've got a lot going on. So let's talk about the uncomfort zone first. I'm going to do this video first. See, I get all these ideas and I want to help people. So when I do my internet marketing training, you guys see these come up if you guys are interested. When people join, they actually get personally mentored by me in the business side. And of course, we do a lot of mindset and talking about, how do you create success in your life? How do you really create those dreams? And people are looking for a job or a training or an online system that's going to help them. And it's not about that. That's one-dimensional. So what we do is we take it to that community level, that support level. And that is really so important. So I want you to remember that it's not that one thing that's going to make you happy. There's so much more involved in it. It's so much more about the feelings, the experience, the journey. And I talk a lot about that because I think we miss that. How many times have you achieved something and you look back and thought, oh my gosh, I worried for weeks or months or years about this, and it, nothing bad ever happened. I achieved my goals, and then you look back and think, gosh, what a waste of time to have worried about that. Do you do that? We all do. It's like it never happened. I did achieve my goals, or something else happened that got you to something you enjoyed even more, or was equally as good. So I want to talk about that because we have a tendency to, again, be one-dimensional. And we think things through. We're using the traditional logic. We're using all the belief systems that other people have instilled on us. We've been in a fog. We don't even know how to think for ourselves. We're using what others told us is acceptable and what we see in the world, because they're all, automatons walking around doing the 9-to-5 family, working hard. Oops, we don't have any money. Now what am I going to do? Oh, I can't do that because that's not acceptable. And we live like that. We live like that. And I have a question for you. Are you willing to break through that veil, that box that we have been put in, because it functions really well for those around us who aren't in a box, who want to keep people in a box because the people in the box work for them, or it suits them well. Are you willing to step outside that box? Because it's going to be uncomfortable. So I actually had a beautiful little home up in Michigan, and I thought, I'm not happy here. I've never felt like I should be there. I've never felt comfortable in Michigan. And it's a beautiful state, and the people are lovely, but it didn't resonate with me. And I know Eckhart Tolle felt the same way about things, and which is why he moved to the west coast of North America. And so what happened is I was compelled to move down here. I sold my house, packed up that truck, came down, knew it was my place, And I've been here ever since. And until I'm drawn to be someplace else, I know this is where I'm supposed to be. I don't know why, but there will be energies. We've talked about energies and planets and all this stuff, and I always tell you, you do what you want to do. You don't wait till a planet aligns to make decisions. But you will be guided by these things. These are the things that present opportunities for you, and guidance, like you get a feeling about something. It's so important to really pay attention to that. I need to move, and if it's persistence, and you know something has got to give. And I think we're so afraid that we're going to go ahead and take that step and it's not going to work out. Because we're told that if we don't have a goal and achieve it, anything else is failure. Right? So that is that thinking that stops us from even going after the dream, because we're so petrified that we won't achieve it, that we're going to go into that failure category. And the world stays in the safe, unhappy zone. And I've never done that. Yeah, I'm not a safe, unhappy person. I may go after my dreams. I've got to find what I need to do. And when I get there, I've learned something. It's never a mistake. I understand that this world is not one-dimensional. It's multi-dimensional. It's the people you're meeting along that way. It's the relationships you develop. Maybe you go into a business deal, it doesn't work out, but there were people you met through those circumstances that set you up for the thing you are supposed to be doing. And that thing failed miserably. And you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done it. But wait a second, I wouldn't have met so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. Because of that, my path, my reality changed up. My reality changed up. So I want you to remember that there are no losses. There are only growth opportunities. When you play it safe, you shortchange yourself of experiencing a life completely different than you could be now if you're hung up on trying to make somebody else happy or doing what you think the world's going to approve of. And you're looking at somebody who's never done that. Oh, do I like approval? Oh, yeah, especially when I was a kid. Oh, my gosh, I was incentivized. One of my friends said, I said, I'm not competitive. And she said, ah! I said, no, I don't think I am. I'm not. And so, of course I am. You know what? I feel like I'm ambitious. To me, that's different. For me, competitive is trying to achieve something better than somebody else. I'm not thinking that way. I'm trying to achieve something that I want, that I know is going to be very satisfactory for me, that it's going to really push me. I'm doing it for me. So if that's how you feel, if you're ambitious, or even if you're competitive, if you have a good spirit behind it and it motivates you, use it. There's nothing wrong with that. Gosh, we're so afraid to, want to win something or do something. That's exciting. If you're doing it in a good spirit, I'll give you an example. I think I told you the story. I heard this from Greg Braden. I'm sure you heard it from 100 other people. Gosh, I'm trying to think. The Special Olympics. The kids who have, I don't know what the proper word is. It's retardation. They were born with a Down syndrome. Cute kids. I mean, they're happy. They're not hung up on our stuff, right? So all these kids are training for a race, and finally the big Olympic day comes, and the gun goes off, and they start running, and right off the bat, one of the kids falls down. I was laying there, and the kid who's running and winning, and with all the other kids, turns back and sees his friend there. Turned back and walked all the way to that line, that start line, even though he was winning. And every one of those kids, those friends, saw this and turned around and walked back with them. And they all hooked arms and walked to the finish line together. That is amazing. Doesn't it make you cry? and we say they're disabled. So I want you to remember that if your spirit, so it's okay, they were learning how to go after something, greater than what they had been doing. If it's greater, I don't know if it's greater, but to challenge themselves. But what happened along the way is true greatness was found, not by getting through that finish line first, but what happened when they were needed most. So for me, that's when we have to look at who we are, what we're doing, and what surrounds those goals and intentions, those challenges. It's all about all of the things that are included along the way. Going with what you know is feeling good and going after those dreams and knowing that along the way, it's not about getting across the finish line first. It's all the other beautiful things that happen along the way. And we're so worried about not getting across the finish line first that we won't even start the race. Greatness can come along the way. And that's what we're here for. Now, I was standing in the kitchen, getting this coffee, and I thought, all right, I've got to do this and this and this and this, and, I got to get this and this done. And I was thinking, wait, stand here and just feel this. Because I'm going to look back after I get all those things done and everything's, running fine again. And of course, I'll have other goals. I stood there and I thought, feel this. This a little bit of stress or whatever. Just feel it. That's being human. Wow, that's being human. And this is the journey, because I'm going to look back and think, did you enjoy any of it? Did you enjoy that journey? And I'm making sure that I do. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm going to remember sitting here working on this course, planning this event, doing all the things that I do to try and make a difference in this world. There's a lot of work that goes into that. And that's for me. Even though I'm doing it for other people, I'm still doing it for me. I'm benefiting personally. It's part of my journey that I get to experience by putting together for other people. It's all one big, huge thing. Don't miss that. We're always looking at did you see my video on my visions? You'll get to see one on my visions. Bill Gates has this beautiful bowling ball and he does this little movement and I already knew that he was going to get a strike. How did I know? It was about what he was doing up here. We already knew he got the strike. Why? Because it was what he was doing here. You've already got your goal achieved. Your goal's already achieved. It already exists. Quantum physics, it already exists. If you're not doing all this here to make that happen, why? It's already there. But if you don't do this, your reality will shift into, well, it's not happening. Because you're not paying attention to this. You're not paying attention to the journey, the lessons, the greatness. I love the greatness. I love the greatness. So my competition, my competitive spirit is about me finding that greatness for me. And the ability to have something to shoot for higher is fun. It's fun. So don't be afraid of that. And it's okay if somebody beats you. Nobody beats you. There's always going to be somebody better, younger, better looking, smarter, richer. But guess what? With that comes all kinds of responsibilities, and what you have is beautiful too. And be okay with that. All right, go after those dreams. Go after that life, and remember that you're learning, experience that moment, that greatness. And what are you doing along the way? Are you walking on people to get to the highest position and the money or the whatever? Or are you being the kind person along the way, which, by the way, you know that will come back to you tenfold. But that shouldn't be the reason why you do these things. That's the greatness. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. You do great things every day, and every probability is available to you right now. You get to focus and bring that into your reality. What are the thoughts and feelings behind it? Don't miss that. Namaste.